refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome to Zero Sports Talk, and today it's not a good day for me as a Laker fan because the Lakers have been swept by OKC. And honestly, this video, I'm gonna talk about the series. I'm gonna talk about JJ Redick. I'm gonna talk about LeBron. I'm gonna talk about Austin Reeves. I'm gonna talk about Rob Pelinka. I'm gonna talk about it all as a Laker fan. So this is not some biased fandom. This isn't gonna be an angry rant. This is gonna be some things that probably some other Lakers YouTube channels will not talk about or say or are afraid to say. Or I just feel like a lot of the other Lakers podcasts, shout out to them, they do a great job, but they do go into some of these segments with like kid gloves, like afraid to say how certain things should be and how certain things are. But I don't care. I'm gonna rant a little bit, but it won't be about the Lakers specifically. It will be about mostly when I get to Rob Pelinka. But I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna start this off by saying shout out to the Lakers for that last game. I mean, it was pretty much what everyone expected. I don't know if that makes it hurt less that you get eliminated in the playoffs or not. It sucks. It definitely sucks and does not feel good, especially being swept. Especially when I expected them to go six. At least I thought, at least give me five at a certain point when they were down 3-0. But they battled. They battled in that last game. Shout out to them. They deserve all the credit. They didn't go down. They could have easily rolled over. They didn't. They were in front of their home crowd. They try to keep the series alive. OKC is just that much better than almost everybody. Pretty much everybody. So when you, as a team, even if you're not a Laker fan, as a team, when you go into a series against OKC, you just gotta wonder how did Indiana do it? You go to 7 games and they pretty much could have won it if Halliburton didn't get injured. So, but other than that, you learn a lot about how OKC operates. They are a deep team. Shout out the Sixers for giving them Jared McCain for no reason. Shout out the Bulls for giving them Alex Caruso. Those teams are on my crap list. But anyways, the Lakers almost pulled it off. Oh, it was closer than the first 3 games of the series. And let's talk about the series itself. A lot of people were talking about fouls specifically. The fouls, Lakers complaining about fouls. OKC is getting away with fouls. OKC is flopping. Lakers flop too. All this nonsense. And I'm gonna say it like this because I don't want to talk about the fouls too much. Lakers and OKC both draw a lot of fouls. Yes, that is true. Lakers are the number 1 driving team. Why do they drive so much? Because they can't shoot, really. Their only reliable shooter is Rui, and we saw it in that last game, and actually the whole series, how reliable Rui is, because not even Luke Kennard could hit anything. Austin Reeves was coming back from an injury. You can't expect them to be automatic or lights out from three. Uh, so they drive, and Austin drives too. Austin drives a lot, and Austin tries to draw as much contact as possible. LeBron, we all know, he is hard to stop going downhill. They say it all the time. They still say it at 41 years old in the broadcast. If you listen to any game that LeBron's involved in and he goes downhill, you'll hear it. Get out the way. No one wants to get in the way. You're gonna foul him. You're gonna hit him. Da da da. Lakers get fouled a lot. So when they don't get the calls on the one thing that they're really good at is drawing contact, you're gonna see them complain. Point blank, period. You're gonna see them complain because that's literally years, not even like this year, years of how these players play because they're not good shooters. They're not a jump shooting team. So for all those jump shooting teams, the Celtics, the Warriors, the Hornets, all those jump shooting teams are like, oh, Lakers get away with getting all these foul calls. Da, 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 da. It's the way they play. It's how they play. It's how they always play. Now, I know my R2L members did a show and we're talking about, oh, I forgot what it specifically says. It's not fun when the rabbit got the gun when it comes to OKC. I was like, it's fine that OKC draws fouls. It's not a problem. They flop a lot, but so actually, I thought about this. And yes, OKC flops egregiously. But the Lakers don't flop that that much like they do. I know people want to bring up LeBron and say LeBron flop or whatever. LeBron is driven to a point where he has to because he gets hit on almost every drive. Even the broadcast said it. I heard ESPN's show say it. He has one of the worst whistles in the NBA because he's so big and strong and he goes through contact all the time. And the only one I've seen in my lifetime that has a worse whistle than LeBron is Shaq. But thankfully, we don't want Shaq at the free throw line. At the time. At the time. He made it when it mattered, though. LeBron draws so much contact and doesn't get nearly enough whistles that maybe he has to flop and he doesn't. And the fact that he doesn't get the call. So what does he do? He complains. Reeves, same thing. Doesn't flop. They'll bait you. They'll definitely bait you. And I think people are confusing bait with flopping. Those are two different things. Because Luka does it just as good as anybody. He doesn't flail. He doesn't go crazy. He doesn't fall to the ground. He doesn't act like Chet Holmgren, like, oh my God, my face, like he got shot. No, he doesn't do that. Luka tries to score through contact after baiting you to jump. He still goes forward with the play. Austin Reeves, same thing. He tries to bait you, get the foul call, but he'll still try to make the shot. And we've seen him, after getting fouled multiple times, still try to shoot the ball, not fall to the ground like he got hit by a linebacker. They don't do that. Lakers do not do that. What the Thunder do, completely different. Completely different. They fall. They act like they got beat up. They act like they got jumped with the tickiest tack fouls you will ever see. It's actually ridiculous. Because what makes it ridiculous is not that they do it because a lot of teams do it. It's that they don't need to do all that. They don't. I don't understand it. And at the beginning of the series, game one specifically, Shai did it like 3 times where he was acting like he got destroyed or something, or someone like karate chopped his arms or something, and he flailed and everything. And that was actually hurting OKC's offense. And then he started shooting normally and he was scoring buckets. Like, it makes no sense why they do it. I guess it's just a thing players like to do, is to try to fool the refs at this point. Um, but those are the differences between Lakers being fouled and Thunder being fouled, and that's why people are mad that the Thunder get the foul calls they do, because of the overacting. That's all it is. It's the overacting. While the Lakers, as much as people want to say, they flop. They bait you, and then they go for the contact. That's all it is. Now, off of the foul things, that's not why the Lakers lost the series at all. And I try to say this to like my R2L members. I'm not saying that's why they lost any of the games. I'm not saying that's why they lost the series. The refs had literally nothing to do with it. Nothing. But just because they had nothing to do with the game or why they lost doesn't mean it's not an issue that we should talk about. Like, it gets to a point, right? And then Jaylen Brown wants to go on a podcast and talk about it and say Joel does this and that. There's videos of him doing the same things. Like, a lot of the NBA players do it. It gets kind of ridiculous at a certain point, especially when you're really good, like the Celtics and the Thunder are. They're really good. Why do you need to do all that extra stuff? You can bait people to foul you. You don't need to act like you've been shot 9 times like 50 Cent. You don't need to do that. All right. So that's my only issues with the whole debate about OKC fouls, Laker fouls, whatever. Now, the reason for the actual loss on the series, to me, I'm going to say it this way. The Lakers played competitive basketball for the first 3 games for 3 1/4 quarters. Because at the end of the day, the depth, the talent, the size, the shooting, the playmaking was all better on OKC's side. The defense, especially, all better on OKC's side. There's almost none you can point to where you can say the Lakers did something better. The OKC did almost everything better. And the difference that made them lose really is that OKC kept it going for 4 quarters. At a certain point, the Lakers ran out of gas. Every game of the first 3 games, they ran out of gas. It just seemed like there was a moment where the Lakers would keep it close. Maybe OKC takes a 10-point lead. Maybe they take a 12-point lead. The Lakers slowly chip away, get back in it. You look like, oh, they're making a run. And then they let go of the rope. Uh, And all I can really say about that is it just looked like they got exhausted after a certain point. Like mid third quarter to the entire fourth quarter of the first 3 games in the series, it just looked like they got tired. And OKC didn't because they have the depth, they have the players. They can rest shy for a whole quarter if they wanted to. They can rest shy for a whole half if they wanted to. That's how deep that team is. While the Lakers, they had to rely on LeBron. They had to rely on Reeves. They had to rely on Rui. They had to rely on Ayton. They had to rely on Smart. They couldn't leave their bench out there for long stretches to get the starters rest. They just couldn't do it. So that's the difference, really, in why they lost. It's like at the end of the day, the Thunder outpaced them. They got it done late in the games because they had fresher legs. They had a better roster overall, better roster. Now the season in itself for the Lakers, again, this is from a Lakers fan. I'm trying to be as non-biased as I can. Was great. It was great. Most people, I think, I seen before the season started, thought they were a play-in team, which was nuts. It was actually ridiculous having teams like I think the Grizzlies and the Clippers ahead of the Lakers in the beginning of the season. And I look at the Clippers roster and I'm like, that's a retirement home. Okay. It's not gonna work. Anytime Lakers had a retirement home for a roster, we failed, you know? But seeing that at the beginning of the year and seeing what it turned into, it was a great season, especially when you realize that your coach, who definitely deserves his flowers. I saw an interview, post game presser. I think it was the post game presser, or maybe it was just a regular presser of Mark Dagnall giving credit to JJ Redick, giving Redick his flowers, and he definitely deserves it. He deserves it. And I know most people are going to say, oh, well, he got swept in round 2. Last year, he got beaten 5 in round 1. Fine, we get it. But he made the playoffs as someone who everyone said was just LeBron's podcast buddy. There was no belief in JJ at all throughout the media, throughout the fan bases. None. So give the man his props for that at least. Like back to back 50-win seasons hasn't been done since Phil Jackson for the Lakers. Like, and he has no coaching experiences throughout any level. No, he's not just LeBron's podcast partner. He lives for this. He actually does this. There's a reason he said he would only be a coach for an NBA team. Like, he meant it. He did it. He got it. And he's getting the job done in his first 2 years. Of course, he is not finishing the job. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's a like what we all wanted as Laker fans. I'm not saying any of that. But I'm saying, hey, coach with no experience coming in, he deserves all the respect he's getting from other coaches, from other players, um, and he's getting a lot of disrespect from a lot of media members. And he's done a lot of bad stuff. Let's talk about last year with Minnesota running the starters the whole half. Terrible idea. Now people are talking about, oh, he should have let Rui in on that last play. Uh, I mean, I got my gripe about that too, but at the same time, bigger picture, you needed Maxi Kleber in there as a big body screener. It ended up working. Reeves got a good look, just didn't go down. If it did go down, we'd be having a whole different conversation about how JJ Redick handled that and the whole benching Rui situation. That didn't happen, but shout out to him overall. Take your anger out of it, Laker fans. Take your bias out of it. JJ, it's like we just came off of Darvin Ham, who literally had no idea what he was doing most games, and like JJ, for some reason, I always have confidence that he's gonna come up with something. It's not always gonna work, but he's gonna do something that we don't expect, and it might work. So I have confidence in JJ going forward. I'll say that. Now, what's next for guys like Austin Reeves? I'll start there because he's a big talking point on the series, on the playoffs, all that. Um, I will say this: Austin wasn't expected to be the number one, especially when you have LeBron James on your team, you have Luke on your team. He wasn't expected to be number one. Luka's injured. LeBron's 41. It is what it is. I think Reeves is a solid number two guy. Now, is he a solid number two guy for the Lakers? Is the question. His contract, he's gonna negotiate a contract. People are saying a max deal, all this stuff. And where I sit with this is where I disagree with a lot of Lakers podcasts with this. He shouldn't. He shouldn't get that from the Lakers. He shouldn't. And yes, Laker fans should give him all the praise in the world. Um, Laker fans should cherish all the time they had with Austin. Uh, but it would have been a good idea if we didn't have Luca to have kept Austin and to have given him that money. Because at a certain point in that series, I know he came off in an injury, but it was blatantly obvious that maybe what we needed wasn't another scorer because Luca is that scorer, probably more consistently that scorer than Austin. We needed a lot of point of attack defense. We needed wings. We needed athleticism. Nothing that Austin could bring at that point. Ball handler, sure. You can find a ball handler. You can bring back Marcus Smart if you want. I don't think that's a good idea either. I think really trying to move on from Austin Reeves is a good idea. If you can find the right replacement, obviously, that's what a lot of people are going to say. You can find the right piece to replace Austin, you do it in a heartbeat. But we all know it's not going to happen. Luca doesn't want him going. It's already been announced he doesn't want him going at all. So Reeves most likely will be back. Because Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, who's still part of the Lakers organization, they manage with feelings. They don't manage with their brains. So they're more sentimental than most other organizations would be in this situation, um, which is the worst thing that you could be in sports is be sentimental and lead with make your decisions with your feelings rather than with your brain. But that brings me to Rob Pelinka and the fact that I don't think he has the brain to make the right decisions. I don't. I don't. Now people are gonna talk a lot. And a lot of the first examples they're gonna say is, well, he got Luca. I think people underestimate, really underestimate the amount of hate Nico Harrison had for Luka Doncic. I don't think you guys understand this. That man did not like that guy. They I don't know how Luka felt about him before the trade. I don't, but it was blatantly obvious. Nico hated Luka's guts, and he wanted him gone. I don't think it was about the whole defense wins championship. No, he just wanted him gone, and he needed a reason for it, right? Or he needed a reason to justify it, right? People don't talk about a report that came out that said Luka was offered to the Bucks for Giannis. He was offered to the Timberwolves for Anthony Edwards. Lakers weren't the only ones that they tried to trade Luka to. So it wasn't Rob Pelinka coming up with a master plan to get Luka Doncic to the Lakers. No, he was literally gifted Luka. He was gifted him because of the amount of hate that Nico had for him. And if you don't believe me that Nico didn't really had that much hate for Luka, look what happened after the trade. The smear campaign that went on in Dallas. Who do you think was up to that? Who do you think brought that out there? Who do you think put that out there? It's Nico in his front office, obviously. They all did it. You think Jason Kidd did that? No. Think the owner did that? I don't think the owner knows what he's doing. All of that hate and smear campaign came strictly from Nico Harrison. So you miss me with thinking that Rob Pelinka is some great genius mind that pulled off the Luka trade. No. It's the same guy that destroyed a championship team 1 year after winning a championship. And then doubled down on it and got rid of more pieces of that championship team the next year. He had the blueprint. All he had to do was sustain it, and he couldn't. Now let's talk about Pelinka and his drafts. Jalen Shafino, where's he at? Maxwell Lewis, where's he at? Bronny James, only because he's LeBron's son, right? And Dalton Connect can't even get playing time. Forget the playoffs. He can't get playing time in the regular season, right? So where is this great genius Rob Pelinka at? Where's this guy that people think is so smart at? I haven't seen him, right? So that's why I think Reeves will be back. And it probably won't be a good idea unless there is a caveat to this. You follow the model that won you a championship in the first place. But he hasn't been able to replicate that. Don't know why. Don't know what he's looking at. He needs guys like a Danny Green, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, Alex Caruso. Those, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, those guys that I mentioned are the reason they won that title. I know it's a LeBron, Finals MVP, AD, great, blah, blah, blah. The pieces around those two were perfect. Oh, and I didn't mention Rondo, too. Rondo, great job. But the pieces around those two were perfect. And that's what Rob Pelinka is not getting right. He has the stars. He has the Luka. He has the LeBron. You can call Austin a star if you want. Don't care. He has them, right? He doesn't have the pieces around them, except for Rui. Shout out Rui. Rui was amazing. Rui, eh, we keep him. We keep him. I'll say that. That guy we keep. Love Rui. I loved Rui when he was traded for none. Literally felt like we lost nothing and we got him for a bag of chips. Thank you, Rui, for putting it all out there. You say you don't like shooting threes, but you are amazing at it. You're amazing at almost everything except rebounding. But shout out to you and playmaking. Shout out to you, Rui. Great series. Um, the real shining star in this entire series was Rui Hachimura. So shout out to him. But other than that, he doesn't get the pieces right. Right. He has to rely on like buyouts. He has to rely on teams giving up on players, and then he has to offer them MLEs or vet minimums or stuff like that. He's really hanging on to like LeBron James too. That's another thing. The What LeBron James brings to the Lakers, what LeBron James can do for the Lakers. I feel like him and Genie both rely on that way too much because they know they can't do anything else but rely on him. And now they're going to rely on Luca when LeBron ultimately leaves. And that will bring me to LeBron. I haven't mentioned him. LeBron's another one. What's going to happen? He could easily leave. A lot of Laker fans want him to leave. A lot of LeBron James fans want him to leave. Look, I'm a Laker fan. I'm not a player fan. Don't really have a favorite player. Gun to my head, I guess I'll say Luca. He's a Laker, but I like Luca even before that. But that's like gun to my head. If I had to say who's my favorite, I would say that. When do you stop kicking the can down the road? Is my question. Like, when do you stop kicking the can down the road? LeBron's going to be going eventually, whether it's this year or whether it's not. He's going to be going eventually. What is your plan for that? Do you have a plan? Nothing gives me confidence that they do. They just assume that Giannis is going to fall out of the sky just like Luca. That's a bad idea. Just assume Denver is going to be, I don't know, doing lines and offering them Jokic or letting Jokic walk. That's not likely. They have no plan for after LeBron leaves, so they just like keep keep him on the string as long as possible. Keep him from retiring as long as possible. Milk as much as you can, as much as possible. Because they don't have any plan after he's gone, right? Yes, Luca fell down from the sky for them. But you can't just win with Luca. And I don't believe you can win with a Luca Austin Reeves backcourt. You need other things around them, regardless. Whether Reeves is there or not, you need other things around him. What is the plan for that? I don't see it. Right? I don't think most Laker fans don't see it. And that's where the frustration comes from. That's where this rant's coming from. Um, and that's why I'm talking and making this video. Because at a certain point, you got to move on from LeBron. You got to do something. Anything, right? To help Luca, to help your future star, even want to stay in LA. Again, I don't think Austin Reeves is that answer. You can be mad all you want. He kind of proved it in the playoffs. He can't be that answer. Yes, he had some good games. Shout out to him. Dope the effort that he did put out. But even with the effort he did put out, that he gave up as many points as he scored. His defense was atrocious, horrible, terrible. And if there's one thing I would not credit on is the switching everything all the time. Because why is Austin Reeves on Chet? I don't know. Why do you have Austin Reeves guarding Chet Holmgren? It's so easy to do for the Thunder to just switch that and get Austin on him. free buckets, barbecue chicken all day. That's not the player you want around Luka when Luka has his defensive struggles. Although Luka has been way better defensively this year than we've seen in the past. We can't have them both on the as the backcourt. You just can't. You need a big that can dominate, not dominating. That's not your answer. And you need guards and wings that can guard the wing, basically. So that's all I got for this whole Lakers rant, Lakers Thunder, everything about it. Shout out to the Thunder. Good luck to them in the conference finals. Whoever they face, it looks like it's gonna be a decently long wait for them. Anyways, if you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Shout out to my R2L members. We got other R2L shows for anything you want to watch that involves sports. We got baseball with Teddy. We got Unfazed. We got In the Red Corner. We got Dave's Doghouse, what goes through highlights and lowlights. We got football with Coach Coombs, goes over a bunch of football. He used to do mostly fantasy football. Now he's doing all football. And we got Carl Talking College, where he goes over every college sport and things that are going on. Well, especially the major ones that everyone's going to want to watch. And that's football, college football, and college basketball. That's all for me today. See you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.